Gemini, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? What is good? What it do? Time for your weekly check-in. We're going to see what's going on with you guys for the first week of October. October week 1. So, it's a weekly check-in, so it's just a short, quick, general, energetic overview. Any of you need a personal reading? You can always go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. I got a link in the description of the video. If you happen to be catching this video on time, tomorrow, Saturday, September 27th, we're going to be doing our next round of weekly live readings right here on this channel. You can pre-order on my website, $22.22. We're going to go live at 11 a.m. Pacific time and read your personal readings right here on this channel. If you're busy tomorrow, don't worry. The readings will be time-stamped. So if you pre-order one tonight and you're busy all day tomorrow, you could come back tomorrow night or the next day and go to the comments, and all the readings are time-stamped in the comments. So you can read up more about that on my website. Link is in the description. All right, let's see how the energy's looking. How's the energy looking, universe? Gemini and their situation and the person they're dealing with. Ooh, Hierophant. Some of you dealing with a Taurus, possibly. Ooh, Empress reverse. 2 Taurus cards. And then the 5 of Wands is the very first card in the main spread, Tower card. Honestly, this feels like you've learned your lesson. Yup. Some of you, now this is kind of split down the middle right here. And I want to try to cover as many different situations as possible. Some of you learned your lesson. You know that messing with this person ain't going to be nothing but a bunch of drama, bunch of bullshit, right? Others of you, and this is what I'm trying to figure out, which group this pertains to the most. Some of you are going to be having a very brief reconnection with this person. And you're going to learn real quick. And sometimes, hey, that's what has to happen. Sometimes you got to repeat a cycle. Sometimes a person has to show you and 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 show you before it finally sinks in and you fucking believe it. So I can't tell which group of you, I can't tell if this just recently happened or if it's coming right around the corner. Maybe a little bit of both, but either way, when it all comes down to it, I think the energy of you learning a very important lesson that sticks, that energy is brewing in the first week of October. So, okay. Some of you dealing with a Cancer, got Taurus, could be anybody. Those are just energies, but yeah. Tower card. And I know some of you have been on and off with this person. Tower card hits. You go in, you try to start rebuilding the tower, it hits again. You start rebuilding the tower, it hits again. And after a certain point, you got to be like, all right, universe, dude, I get it. Okay. Fuck. But when we finally give ourselves permission to see that's the question. That's the $1 million question right there now. So, let's see how they feel about you and what their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions be. Ooh, you know what? You know what? Ooh, I think a lot of you are dealing with somebody that, ooh, this is shady and shitty right here, dude. A lot of you are dealing with somebody, and I think this is also going to pertain to those of you who have been on and off with this person. They get high on knowing that you want them. They don't want to be with you. They just love the fact that you're holding on and can't let go. That blows their head up and makes them feel good about themselves. You know? It's kind of like the reverse aspect of the chase. It's kind of like runner-chaser dynamic, you know? There's some people out there who love the chase, and there's other people who love to be chased. And actually, honestly, I don't know. This person may fall on one end of that spectrum or the other. But I think they get high on knowing that you want them. They don't want to be with you. They just want somebody to want them and not let go. Makes them feel good about themselves. That's probably why, for a lot of you, tell me if this resonates. They're really, really, really good at buttering you up, making you feel all good. And then they take off, right? And then that gets you hooked. And then as soon as you start letting go and backing off, oh shit, well, I got to keep you chasing. So then they make sure they put some more energetic hooks in you. And then they take off. Trying to cover as many situations here as possible, but this is a really, really, really direct message here. I think they just want you to want them, but they don't want to be with you. Could be a Leo for some of you. I also have Cancer. All right, well, let's grab some advice. Seven of Swords. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to fucking say this. There comes a certain point where you have to learn from experience. There comes a certain point where I can tell you until my face turns fucking blue, but I can't understand it for you. And I know it sounds kind of condescending when people say that sometimes, and I don't mean it that way. I really mean that until it clicks, here's what'll happen, I promise you. You rarely ever hear me promise anything, but I will promise you this. Even if you did just walk away from this person just because I told you to, and you didn't really learn what you needed to learn from that situation, I promise you, you're gonna attract the same situation, same scenario, same everything. You're just gonna be looking at a different face. It's gonna pick up right where you left off. You'll just be looking at a different face. That's all that's gonna happen. So you should never walk away from anyone for any reason other than something clicks in your mind and you say, fuck this. I would rather go through the pain of walking away than the pain of staying. Until you get to that point, you won't be ready. I've had to say that to so many fucking people over the last 2 or 3 months. I've had multiple return clients that I've had to tell that to over the past 2 or 3 months. And I've had to say that to a lot of signs generally. The only thing that I don't want to see, which I have seen in real life a couple of times, is somebody gets stuck in a loop-de-loop cycle and stay stuck in that cycle for 5 years, 10 years. I know a couple who has been going on and off for 15 years. 15 years. Ain't nothing you can tell them. No, everybody's tried. Oh, everybody and their mama and their mama's best friend and their mama's granny. And if their mama's dog could talk, the dog would be fucking telling them. And there's nothing you can tell them. It's going to keep looping around and looping around and looping around until somebody gets so tired of it that they're willing to put their foot down and put an end to it for good. The only thing I'm going to say is draw the line somewhere. At some point, you have to be willing to finally listen to what the universe is telling you. At some point. You know? You have to be like, all right, universe, dude, okay, I get it. Fuck. I get the message. At some point. Anyway, I guess take that and do with it what you will. Let's see how the energy's looking for the singles. Single Geminis. Ooh, Two of Swords reverse. That's a weird card to jump out first thing. Ooh, Karmic Wheel. And the Judgment. Okay. Ooh. Well, those of you who just recently ended a relationship, you completed a karmic cycle. Now, I think you're going through that period right now where you're leveling up and being tested. I'm seeing you communicating with someone, but it doesn't really look like it's going anywhere, honestly. There's communication here, but it almost looks like you don't even really see it as a love offer. I don't even know if I would call this a test. Everything else looks like you're being tested, but I don't have the one card that will tell me that. I'm looking for one specific card that'll tell me that you're being tested. I don't have that on the table, but I have everything else that aligns with it energetically. And I'm pretty sure I already done told you all that too, that you're being tested. Because whoever this is you're communicating with doesn't have good intentions. I think they're a bit of a liar. But it's almost like maybe you're passing a test. Maybe you are. Because it just kind of looks like, it doesn't really look like this game is grabbing you up. It really doesn't. Two of Cups reverse, Four of Cups. You know, it's so what I see when I look at this energy right here is it's like somebody sliding up in your DMs, trying to spit some game, or somebody approaching you while you're out with friends and trying to spit some game at you, and it just flies over your head and doesn't really connect. You know, some of you may have a little bit of an idea of what they're trying to do, but it's just like, nah, I'm not feeling you. This kind of honestly looks like, so you know when I talk about being tested, I'll say best case scenario, You float right past it, never even realize you were being tested. That's kind of what this looks like. I don't think I've ever seen that actually come out like that in a reading before, where you're just floating right past it and not even thinking about it. You may giggle about it a little bit, like, what an idiot. Other than that, though, it's floating right over your head. See if I can just clarify that. It's weird. I've never seen that come through like that before. Kind of throws a little bit of a monkey wrench in the flow, just a little bit. Page of Cups reversed. Yeah, see? Libra season is the initiation of a new cycle. I love that when either I start saying it or I start thinking about it and then the card jumps out. I was thinking that. Libra season is the initiation of a new cycle, and then boom, the World card came out. Yeah, okay. So you'll probably be hit from multiple different angles. More than likely. Most people are hit from multiple different angles. And hey, those of you who are standing tall and standing strong in this energy, there's no way to explain it. I mean, clients ask me all the time how to do it. And there's only, there's only one thing I've come up with that can give you an idea of what this energy feels like. This is the energy that will align you with your person, okay? Now, disclaimer, what I'm about to say might not make sense at first. This may be something that you need to take with you, and like as you're laying down to go to sleep, just really spend some time thinking about this. Imagine that you got a reading. Doesn't matter what kind. Tarot, astrology, psychic, channeler. Imagine that you got a reading from someone. And whoever this person is that gives you a reading is the one person that you trust more than anybody else on the face of this earth. Now imagine that person told you, you do not have a divine life partner. You don't have one. You are destined to spend the rest of your life in this lifetime alone. Imagine you were told that. If you were told that by the person that you trust more than anybody on the planet, and you believed it with every fiber of your heart and soul, you would meet your person in less than a year. Promise you that. I don't promise very many things. But I promise you, you would meet your person in less than a year. If you really fell all the way into that energy, which most people don't, most people slip into that energy by accident. Could you imagine what that would feel like? It would probably be a hurtful thing to hear at first. I'm not saying it wouldn't be. It'd probably be like a gut punch to hear that. Like, oh, fuck. Well, think about this. Think about the passage of time after you hear that. See, your ego brain and your subconscious mind are constantly working overtime to figure out how to keep you safe and figure out how to keep you comfortable and make you happy. Those are the two biggest things the ego is working overtime to try to figure out. Safety and comfort or happiness. Now, the problem is the ego is operating on a program. It's operating on what it was programmed to believe. So most of us believe, due to brainwashing through music, movies, TV, and media, that we won't be happy until after we meet our divine life partner. Most of us, our subconscious mind believes We won't experience true love until somebody brings love to us from the outside. That love is created by your divine life partner. That happiness, fulfillment, and joy is created by a relationship. That's what most of us believe, because we've been conditioned to not be able to tell the difference between true happiness and pleasure. So most people, when we enter into a relationship and we feel that explosion of emotions that you feel when you first meet someone new, that's why most people think that that feeling is love and happiness, and it's not. That feeling is pleasure. So that's what the subconscious mind believes, is that that's the only way you're going to feel love. That's the only way you're ever going to feel complete. And that person who's going to do that for you is out there somewhere. And the subconscious mind is desperately holding on to the little bit of hope that eventually you're going to find that person, and that person is going to create your happiness for you, fill the void in your heart, and make you live happily ever after. That's what the subconscious mind believes. Well, there's another thing interesting about the ego brain and the subconscious mind. When it finally surrenders, it will adapt. You ever hear those cases of somebody who was like wrongly convicted of something, and they spend like 20 fucking years in prison? It's supposed to be a life sentence. And then like 20 years later, they take a second look at it and they say, oh, oopsie poopsie. We fucked that up, didn't we? All right, well, my good man, my bad. You can go home. And it fucks with his mind. He doesn't like it. He's like, I don't know how to function. I don't like this. I was more comfortable in prison, because his subconscious mind had surrendered and adapted to the fact that this is my life now. This is all I'm ever going to experience for the rest of my life. So he got comfortable with it, right? And what do you think would happen if in the deepest pit of your subconscious mind, it finally surrendered and just believed nobody's coming, ever, ever. Nobody is ever gonna come fill this void. Nobody is ever gonna come make me happy. Nobody is ever going to show up in my life and complete me. Again, I'm not saying that wouldn't be a hurtful thing to hear at first, but eventually the mind would adapt to it. After a certain period of time, maybe a few months, the subconscious mind would eventually say, all right, well, that's off the table. So now we got to start figuring out some other way to fill this void. If it turns out that that person's not fucking out there, we got to figure it out now. If another person's not going to come do it, we got to figure out how to do it ourselves. And that void will start filling itself. And then right when you least expect it, and it's the last fucking thing on your mind, the universe is going to connect you with that person in the craziest, most fucked up, unexpected way. The last person you ever would suspect. At the most crazy, inconvenient, unexpected time. And in a way that will baffle you for the rest of your life. In a way that you'll be looking back on it and laughing, because you would never be able to figure out how to make that happen in a million years. You would never be able to find this person by going out and looking for him. And then once you meet him, you'll be looking back on him and laughing. Thanks, universe, dude. That was fucking awesome, you know? So, again, that may be a lot to bite off and chew. I would invite you not to just completely reject it, but really take some time to think about that. Take some time. Take some days. Take some weeks. I remember when I was new on my spiritual path, Oh, I did the same thing all you all are doing. Constantly just consuming content from spiritual public figures and tarot readers and gurus and psychics, and I was just fucking starving for it. And there would be a lot of times that somebody would say something and I'd be like, I don't fucking believe that. That does not sound right at all. But you know what? Let me just set it over here. I'm just going to set that over here and maybe come back to it. I never wanted to reject anything 100% unless I had proof, unless I had stone cold rock solid evidence that what they said was wrong. I wouldn't reject it. Usually within about a month, sometimes 2 months. Dude, that fucking thing that person said a month ago. Now I understand that. Now it makes sense. And it just took a while for the seed to bloom. So take that with you on your journey or don't. Either way. Either way. Whatever feels right to you. All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Gemini family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, the information for personal readings is down here in the description. And don't forget, tomorrow, September 27th, we're doing our next round of live readings right here on this channel. You can pre-order on my website, $22.22. We're going live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time and reading your readings right here on this channel. If you're busy tomorrow, the video will remain up on my channel with all the readings timestamped in the comments. If you don't want your name read out loud, there's a place on my website where you can tell me what name you want to be called. So your shit can be secret, nobody has to know, and you can come look at it anytime you want. So, information is in the description, and I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.